Hey guys, NSC85. In the first part of this series of videos I showed how to completely disassemble a 1911 style firearm, and what I'm going to do now is show you how to put it back together. So if you watched my first video, you'll be at this point where you have a completely blank frame, and we're going to go ahead and put it back together. So it's the same thing, only in reverse order. So we got our trigger here. There is a channel on either side here. There's a channel there and a channel there. Put your trigger in and it'll fit right in that channel, like so. See that? Now we'll go ahead and put our magazine catch in. Remember, the screw is still contained in there in that channel. Make careful note right here where that piece of the screw is. See how it kind of slightly sticks out? You can scratch your frame right there. So sometimes I just like to put the screwdriver in and make sure that that's hidden, and then twist it back while slightly pushing from this side, and once you turn it'll just drop right into the channel. Okay, so that's back in. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put the sear and everything back in here. Okay, for the sear assembly, this is going to be the part that most people get nervous about, and this is actually truly, honestly, not that hard. This piece right here, which is part of the safety mechanism on the Series 80 style, what I like to do is think of it as, I don't know, like a goose head or a duck head. Okay, there's the eyeball, there's the beak. This goes into the firearm facing you like this. Okay, so it's like the beak is facing you. Now what I like to do is I take some of this grease. Just take a little bit, and the part that is facing you, just put a little bit of grease right here. That's going to help tremendously with installation. The other thing you want to do that'll help a lot is, you see how there's a hole here, right? And all the pieces that we're going to be putting in rest along this. And if you miss, they're just going to fall out. So what I like to do is you take your empty magazine and we're just going to insert the magazine. You may have to push the trigger back just a little bit to get it to go in. Okay, so the magazine is in, and see how this closes up everything? It'll give you a nice flat surface to put everything against. So now back to our pieces here. We got 3 pieces. Okay, so this is our sear. Looks like a half moon. And this is our disconnector. These go together like so. See that? Pretty easy, right? Show you that again. Here's the curved side. Here's the flat side of the disconnector. They just go together just like that. Very simple. Now remember I had mentioned those tweezers, right? So what I like to do is take our frame, and I just set it right there. I take the tweezers and I grab onto this part right here of the disconnector. Slide it all the way forward and up into the hole and let go. And that hole that I'm talking about is right here on the top of the frame. That's where the disconnector pops out. Once that's in there, then your sear will be in there. And now we'll take this piece, I got it in the tweezers here, And I'm going to angle it like this. Okay, so it just looks like one big duck. That goes on the right side. Slide it up in there, let go, and what that grease does, I don't know if you can see, but that grease kind of keeps it stuck up against the sear. Now what we do is we take our long skinny punch, and with gravity working with us, okay, we got it facing this way so everything's kind of resting there. On this hole right here, go through this hole into the duck's eye, and then you may have to use your thumb to move some stuff around, but you will get it where it goes through all three of them. See that? So now everything is contained there. We're going to flip it over while hanging on to that. Take the smaller of the two pins, and as we push that in, we will then take the punch out. Just like that. So now everything is in there. So now we got our hammer. Hammer goes in like this, right? But first we need to take this piece, which again is part of that additional firing pin safety. We're literally just going to drop it in. This slot right here is where this piece goes, or this flat piece. So we literally just slide it like so. Okay, so that is where it sits. Just like that. Actually goes in between the frame and the sear. Then the hammer goes right in like this. Going to line up the holes like so. And then take the pin, drop it right in. Okay, so now everything is back together there, as you can see. Pins are back in. So we're going to flip this out of the way here and take our sear spring, and if you look on the sear spring, at the bottom of it there's a lip and there's a slot right here. This is literally all you do. Put that right in the slot and then literally just drop it down forward, and it should look just like this. Okay? Now what I like to do is, if you look at the mainspring housing, there's a groove on either side. There's also a channel at the bottom. You can see there. And I'm just going to slide this in over the leaf spring just to help me contain the leaf spring while we do everything else here. So now we're going to grab our grip safety. There is a channel in the middle of that. We're going to flip our hammer spur down, and the hammer spur is going to go right in that channel as we fit this in. You may have to slide this down a little bit to get that to go in. So now, if you look up here, we're going to line everything up. Okay, so you push. I'm pushing the grip safety here. There's going to be spring tension on it from that sear spring. But you just want to make sure that that hole right there is lined up. Take our thumb safety, and we're going to go ahead and put that in right there. I'll show you a side view as I push it in. Okay, push that in, and then that plunger is going to stop you. So that is why I have this tool, because that allows me to push it right there, like so. It literally just snaps right in. Okay, now if you look down here, that hammer spur, when you move the hammer down, moves the hammer spur down, which then engages this spring. So with the hammer up, that'll give us less spring tension. We'll slide this in. Make sure that you may have to tip the gun slightly. See how the spur, you want it right in on that spring. Then what we do is you get this pin, we're going to put it right here, and you may have to use some uber strength in your hand. Okay, I'm pushing with my thumb here, gripping it. That goes right in. So there you are. All you got to do now is put the grips back on. Pretty self-explanatory. Screw them in. So I'm going to go ahead and screw those in, and then we'll move on to the slide. Alright, so we got our slide here after our frame is all put back together nice. And the first thing we're going to do is take our extractor. You can see it's got a hook on it. That's what is used to grab the shell casing. And that faces this way. And you can also tell when you go to put this in the rear how it lines up, as you can see here. So we're going to go ahead and push that in. Just like that. Now after I push that all the way in, what I do is just like when I took it apart, I just push it out slightly using the, just like that, because we just need enough room to put this in. That drops in. And once that is in, you can push the extractor back in. Firing pin spring. The spring just slides over if it's off. They usually stay on there pretty good. And we're going to put it in. Remember, we got to depress this a little bit. So I'm depressing that with my finger. I'm going to push that in, let it go. It'll stay contained, but we need it down further because we got to put the firing pin retainer back on. So we're going to put some pressure on it, just like that. Our firing pin retainer has a curved side to it. That curved side faces down just like this. Goes right in there like that. And now all we have to do is press this plunger, and the firing pin is back where it needs to be and contained. Now we're going to take our barrel link, push it forward. Goes in this end, falls right in. On your spring there's a closed end and an opened end. You see the difference there? The closed end always goes onto the guide rod. The guide rod is shaped like that. Stick it in this way, slide it through. That goes on top of the barrel, and then you want the barrel length to look just like that. You don't want it there, you don't want it way up there. You just want it resting right about there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my frame. We're going to put the hammer back. As you see this piece raised up, make sure that that's down. Go ahead and slide it right on. And we're going to move it all the way back to right there. Take our slide lock. Look in here to make sure the barrel link is lined up. I'm going to put that there. Okay, so once you got it lined up like that, you just push straight down. Bring your slide forward. Go ahead and engage the safety. And we look at this end. Remember, the bushing has that lug right here. So you got to put that lug there and then spin it all the way around this way. Take the spring cover. Go ahead and push this in. See how it's contained there on that little lip. Remember, lots of spring tension, be careful. Take our bushing wrench, Disengage the safety. Going to do a function check. Safety on. Doesn't work. Grip safety off. Thumb safety on. Doesn't work. Safety off. So yeah, everything works and everything is back together. Hopefully this video series was helpful, guys. Please, any questions, comments, or concerns, just go ahead and leave a comment below or send me a PM. I'm very good about getting back to you, so hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Have a good day. See you later. Okay, so this is our Sear. Looks like a half moon. Or a raptor claw, maybe? I'm just kidding.